Welcome to another episode of Zwei Ales und Hockey Tales mit Valdi. Und heute, ich bin so excited to have on a 42-year-old, a 42-year-old coming aus Landshut, Deutschland. He returns to the shed a legend after being one of the shed's pioneers way back in episode 7, and then in episode 112 with the other dandies from Landshut, Deutschland, which that episode was just listened to over 500 times, folks. He laced up for 17 Jahr Profi as an ice hockey spieler. He played 17 years pro and broke in way back in 2000 after running amok with the Unter 20 of Landshut, the under 20s. Then, by his second year in the Zweite Bundesliga with his hometown, put up 35 Punkt, 35 points, as a young German and promptly got the call to the DEL with the Kassel Huskies. And this is right around the last time his battery died. He also dabbled with the Hanover Scorpions and Augsburg Panthers of the DEL before returning home in 07-08 and with yours truly and coming one tour away from becoming Deutsche Meisters with his hometown Landshut Cannibals. He then, as they say, chased the money with yours truly the very next season, and we got her done and became Deutsche Meisters zusammen, folks, together. After 3 years with me and the Steelers, he headed for Dresden and then the Hanover Indians when they went tits up. I was there. He ran amok with Moosburg before heading back to Landshut to cap off his career, but he is best known as the best Schweinebraten chef in ice hockey and making Deutschland feel like home for yours truly. Welcome to my back deck, Dominik Hammer.
Servus, Waldi. Good to
Hey,
see you again.
nice to see you, sir. If you finally plugged in your computer or whatever you're on, eh? Good for you.
Yeah, it ran out of battery.
Busy day, man. Busy day. Week of
Me
KPI.
too.
Oh, week of KPIs. I just ripped one out. And then as we were getting in the shed, the CEO called me and asked me to go for a beer tonight. So that was cool.
Yeah, today it's no beers for you and for me too, because I go on the ice and you have to go back to work.
Yeah, you're still doing that, eh?
Yeah, once a week we go on the ice, like
Like just play a game?
play a game, like we build two teams and then we have a game around 55 minutes. And after that,
So who's all there that I know? Abshi, Hundi?
no, Apshi is not going on the ice normally. Hundi not even too. There's Kaipi, Sailarama, Svatsi, Wittmann.
Shed guys.
Where else?
See,
So
back when we played hockey, though, I wouldn't have guessed that when we're talking that 10 years later, that Geipi's the one still playing hockey.
And the best and important thing is after we got 2 cases of beer and
Right.
hanging out for one and a half
Well,
in the dressing
it
room.
makes a lot of sense that you guys still want to play hockey and still get in the cabina together, zusammen, because I had written down was after university, my 4 years there, when university was fun, but the ice hockey sucked and we weren't doing well. Losing sucks. And then I go to Dayton in the East Coast, and quite frankly, it just wasn't that much fun being on a bus all the time and not even knowing what town you're in and just getting off a bus and playing hockey and playing so many games you didn't know what was up or down. And then when I got to Landshut, Germany, those cannibals, the guys you're still playing hockey with and yourself, made hockey fun again. I liked hockey again. I had a passion for it again, you know?
Yeah, I know it. But you're not allowed to drink beers before in the bus?
What? No. Well, no. Dayton, the only time we ever did was like when we came back for Christmas, or we were done for the Christmas break and they let us drink on the bus, but not normally. No, you just sleep because you played like 3 games a day, 3 games a weekend, you know?
So it's almost like in Bietigheim, not allowed.
Yeah, that's right. No beers on the bus there either when the one coach there, but that is what like made me like hockey again, was like it wasn't so serious. Like, well, it was serious, but like we did get to have a couple beers in the room after, right?
Yeah, and you know, like we had a lot of success too, and it makes a difference.
Yes, success makes it fun, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is for
Uh,
sure. All these.
yeah, we did have a lot of success, and then we also had kind of the opposite by the end of our times of beating high rate.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Geld is a thing, right? When you have Geld, you can buy a good man shaft.
That's all the time the reason, the problem. Like I will say in the DL, like I will say around 5, 6 teams they can like make the championship. The other teams they have almost no chance
No
because the
chance. And
budget
like, you
is
know,
way.
you're signed up to not win. It's like when we were going back to Bietigheim after the first year or two, it's like we knew we weren't going back to win, you know?
Yeah, that's true. And
Yeah.
you know, like if you look back on that season, I will say maybe 3 teams in the second league could win it. It was
Ravensburg, Schwinnigan, um, some,
Munich and Bietigheim. Yeah,
well, yeah, when Munich was in there. And then that was a frustrating time, eh? When, well, we're a goal away in Landshut. Then we do finish the deal and win it in Bietigheim. And we don't go up to the DL and become DL players. And then the next year I'm hurt and Munich wins it with like the same team. And then all those guys become DL players and their resumes say
yeah, that's
DEL.
right. Almost the home team or the whole team they played in the DL,
Yeah.
and
Uh,
then they finished most of the time second or last place, second last place or last place,
and then
and
Red Bull
then
comes in and
Red
change.
Bull comes in and then change it different. Yeah.
Yeah. Then those players aren't playing there anymore either.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's that's true. But most of the guys are like getting in the age, so
Yeah.
it's not.
Well, we're getting sidetracked already. You say we only have an hour because you have to play ice hockey. That's embarrassing. This is way more fun than playing ice hockey. Um, way we know each other is like you were one of the first guys to ever come on. You're my first German for sure. And I always say when I post stuff that you don't see, you made Germany feel like home. But that was way back episode 7. That's a long time ago now, eh? This is like episode 321.
Yeah, that's a long time. That's a really long time.
It is. Yeah, I don't remember what we talked about, and I don't remember. I can't re-listen to them that long ago, man. Just can't do it. But another way we started reconnecting again was Philip Meikle just came on, right?
Yeah, right.
One of the kinders of that team in Landshut.
Yeah, I played with him the last 2 years in Landshut. So he wasn't that young on
Right. It's
that
weird how they
age.
grow up.
Yeah, they grow up
Yeah,
faster than you expect.
way faster. And that's another way we know each other is you're a dad now, eh?
I'm a dad right now. My daughter is 15 months old right now. Starts running around 2 weeks ago. Now I'm busy too.
It's game on. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Now
It
you're
is.
all grown up too, you know?
Yeah, I am. I'm 42 years old.
Yeah. And then another time that it's still a day like now that I'll never forget. It's like with starting this, I never know what each day is gonna bring. I was driving into town to get groceries or something one day, and you FaceTime me and you were with all the fellows. And I was like, I'm turning around, getting to the shed. We're recording this talk because this is cool. And it's pretty fun when guys you played with however long ago that is now, like whatever, 14, 15, 16 years ago, that you guys will just randomly FaceTime me when you're sitting around drinking. That can mean a lot to a guy over here in Canada.
That's right. That's right. When I'm not doing that to a lot of guys, it's only like you once in
Schmitty.
a while. Committee,
And
Justin is most of the time he's not available.
but yeah, it's interesting too. A lot of times the people you do stay in contact with when you play a long time are the people you won with, right?
Yeah, that's right. Because like when I still playing hockey, I had more time, so I did a lot of like the years ago. We are skyping a lot
Right.
with other guys too, but right now it's most of the time there is no time
No, and that's
because
what's
like
weird is like you can go, it's like to think of all the guys I got to know and we became like brothers in Germany. To think of staying in contact with everybody is like, when would you ever find the time to make all those calls, you know?
Yeah, that's right. It's pretty tough right now, and the time changes.
It
We're
doesn't
you're
help.
6 hours behind me.
Yeah, so this is my Mittagessen for
Mit
Arbeiten.
Mittagessen, and
Ja,
now we
so
have
eine Stunde ist gut heute, oder? Ich habe
ja,
eine Stunde für
eine
mein
Stunde ist
Mittagessen.
gut.
Yeah. But anyways, other ways we know each other is did you know you were the last time I saw you in person was Colby's first time ever being on the ice?
You showed me the little clip about that. I didn't remember that, but it was like it's true.
Well, it's because you wouldn't probably it wouldn't be as big of a deal for you that it was my son's first day on the ice. But I remember it too because it was the game when you guys had like officially gone tits up and the season was over. You couldn't play in the playoffs. Season's done, kind geld, right? And the fans did the big thing out on the ice after. And that also, fun fact for the crowd, was the only game I ever got health bombed in Germany. I was a healthy scratch that night.
Yeah. You played in Heilbronn?
Yeah, but I was a healthy scratch because they were saving me for playoffs because that was the last weekend of the regular season, and then we were going to the playoffs. So I got to sit out that game, and then I went out on the ice, and there's the YouTube clip of the two teams are sitting out there, and the fans are doing their thing, chanting that you guys have no money, and me and you are just sitting there, the two of us in our own little world, not paying attention to the fans or what anybody's doing. It's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, like like it's a tough situation for a player when a team is running out of money.
Yeah.
But that wasn't our mistake. So the season was over for us, and we know right away after the game we going out. And what should
Yes.
you do?
Season's done. It's yeah.
Season is,
And it's not like you guys lost together, right? It was out of your hands. That's a different way of finishing a season.
yeah, that's right. So I think it was around 6 or 8 games before the end. We know it, and they decide that we play the regular season to
Out.
the end, and we are not allowed to be on the playoffs or on the playdowns.
Right. Yeah, I remember that. That's yeah, strange times, but teams do go bankrupt in Europe, don't they? It's a thing. Does it still happen as much over there?
Not that much anymore, but once in a while it happened.
Yeah.
So like I will say that time it happened a lot for sure. Once or two teams in one season in the second league. You remember when we won it with Bietigheim, but Hölz go bankrupt?
Yeah, and they were a really good team.
They had, I think they're after us on the second spot.
Mm-hmm. They had some players that year. Yeah. I remember
They
that
had,
Silverthorn and that Mulak or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, I think they had both of the Muloks.
That big defenseman too. What was his
Orseki.
name? Yeah, that guy.
Orseki was there.
But yeah, it sucks when teams go bankrupt. It sucks for the players, sucks for their fans. I guess yeah, I mean, and I kind of understand that if, like, say a company starts losing their money and they don't want to be giving away all their money to an ice hockey team, then all of a sudden they pull their sponsorship. Like that'd be a tough thing for a hockey team, right?
Yeah, it's. I will say in Germany, it's when you take the first three leagues, the sponsors, that's only guys they like have fun on that sports because nobody makes money with that sport in Germany.
But you guys have so many fans. I don't understand. And there's so much stuff on the equipment. Like, how can they not be making money?
Like, it's an example, like Cologne, they have to have every game around 11,000 spectators to get all the
to break even
stuff. Yeah, right. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
You know, like it's totally different if you say like Mannheim, SAP, the arena got to the hop guy, so they don't have to pay for the arena or something like that.
Yeah. They got money. They got feel geld.
It's like if you say like they have a budget from around 15 millions, so it's totally different to maybe other clubs because they have to pay for the arena, they have to pay for everything. And these guys, they have it only for the team or most of the team. So it's a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
Some clubs they have to pay for the ice to the city when the ice rink gets the city,
Well,
like
every team's got a different situation, and it's like it is crazy how much more money like Mannheim and Red Bull Munich have than like say Augsburg,
yeah, that's right. So that makes a difference. Right now, you have no chance. I will say you have no chance to win a cup if you're not on the 6 or 7 teams that have the
that have
most
some
money.
money. Yeah, for sure. But I'm still in how we know each other. Another phone call that was really cool for me was Sylvester, New Year's Eve. I hadn't seen Hundi since we played together in Landshut, and they FaceTimed me on New Year's Eve, and I got to see Hundi and Michaela, and everybody was sitting around, and that was pretty neat for a guy. And I think that's how I can start a shed and have so many people on, was that it was pretty cool that they called me. But it was 2022 in Canada, and it was 2023 in Germany, and we were in 2 different years.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
It was a cool phone call to have though, and that was like the same time we had all my minor hockey kids were having a party and staying up till midnight. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty packed and pretty busy at your party.
It
We had
was.
only me, Hundi, and the 2 girls.
Yeah, that's right. And I hadn't seen him in so long. I got to try and get him in my shed. I think he's scared of it. Why are some of the German guys scared of the shed? I don't understand. They can all speak good
I
enough English. Is it the English they're worried about?
I don't think so, mate. I will say Hundi normally he has enough time to do it because he's working from 6 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Really?
No kids and nothing else. He's healthy right now.
Really?
Maybe I have to
I got to
call.
get on him. This is horse manure. He needs to come to my shed. Um, he's a beauty. And one guy that did come on is Whitman. What a beauty he is, eh?
Yeah, he's pretty good too.
So you
He's
still
pretty
see
in
all the
shape,
same
right?
guys, eh?
Yeah, we have still the same group of guys. One you see him a little bit often. One maybe only once a year. Maybe the other one almost every day. So, but we stay all good in contact and yeah.
You guys have an awesome
So
hockey family in Landshut. You guys, like the group of friends you guys have in Landshut, you guys are really lucky that you guys are all from there.
yeah, that's pretty cool and pretty good. And I think almost I will say in Germany almost no town have that we have.
Yeah, for sure. And it's cool for me what's like talking to him usually in my shed, not my back deck, but like all the memories that have come back to me. It's like I kind of forgot about all the stuff we had done. And then when you get chatting with guys like you, it brings back a lot of memories, you know?
And good memories,
Yeah,
really
and
good memories.
then I got interviewed by the Ice Hockey News this week, and to think of them thinking of me as an interview, like that's cool 10 years later, right? Because when you leave and nobody wants you back when you're like 29 years old or whatever I was, 30, it's like it doesn't feel that good because you're like, I'm not that old and now nobody even wants me. It was pretty neat to get interviewed 10 years later, you know?
You had an interview in the Isaac News?
Yeah, I did it like on the podcast too. He asked me for the interview. And I was like,
Ah,
well, let's do it right on the pod. So he's gonna make an article out of what we talked about, and that's pretty cool.
yeah, that is cool. That is really pretty cool.
But he found it from having on guys that had played for Bad Nauheim. And yeah, it's cool to see that all these guys are still living the life we lived, eh? Guys are still the Bietigheim Steelers were just at the Feder Market. What a time that was, eh?
That was pretty good too. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Uh, I love the Feder Market.
Federmark.
Yeah, I love that place. I run amok there. And then we had Volksfest in Stuttgart, right?
Cannstatter Wiesen.
What is that
That's
what
the
it's called?
name.
I
Yeah,
don't know. I thought it was
Cannstatter.
Volksfest.
Dult in Landshut.
Oh, is that so? Is Duelt, was that the one at the end of the season? So we like almost won it, and then the Duelt was happening.
Yeah, that is middle of April to around most of the time 1st of May
Oh, you can
for
really
10
eat
days.
some Mittagessen after training, right?
All right. And Oktoberfest.
Oktoberfest. Yeah, that was one of my first memories of Germany. We went there like 2 weeks in when I was still living at Trunchka's house.
I go there 2nd of October.
Really, that makes me really jealous. I love going to those places, but I actually think I'd rather go to the smaller town ones where it's not so busy. Where I always remember at the Oktoberfest, you get like kicked out of your table at 5 o'clock when all the reservations happen. And yeah, there's one time where I got lost at 5 p.m. Then when we lost the table, I didn't know how to find anybody.
It depends which reservation you have. Like you can like that year we go from 4:30 to the end.
Right. And you guys probably had reserved a table. And I remember when we went with Landshut, they had it set up nice. We had that whole upstairs area with food spread
On the
out.
balcony.
And I was like, oh my. And then you're watching Oktoberfest happen. And I was like, I'm home. I love this place.
And it's pretty expensive too.
Yeah, it is expensive there. So if you were going to Oktoberfest, when you go October 2nd, what are you going to eat there?
We are in a special tent, Ochsenbraterei.
Oxen, the ox. You're eating an ox?
Yeah, it's pretty good too.
Isn't that like the big knuckle of it or something?
Yeah, that's like you can eat different stuff, but that's the tent is Ochsenbraterei, so you should have an oxen because it's pretty good.
Yeah. Oh man, I like the food in Germany a lot. It makes me miss it. You know, I can cook now. Yeah, this week I made Wiener Schnitzel and Spätzle. What if?
Yeah, you told me that the other days,
Well, I
or
do.
you
I
sent
do.
me a
I yeah. I sext you some of my food sometimes, don't I? And then you've
and it's
sexted
pretty.
me your food too. You can still make a Schweinebraten, eh?
I still make it, but not in the summer, only winter time.
Yeah, it's more of
I
a
do.
winter food, isn't it? And people wonder why I got fat in Bietigheim. So, jeden Mittwoch, you're making me Schweinebraten, and then there's also Manfred the meat guy that's giving me bags of meat. It's like, how am I supposed to stay skinny?
Yeah, it's not so bad
No,
the
I know.
food, but we had a couple beers too. Maybe that's
Maybe that didn't help.
makes your belly a little bit better too.
That's remember when Dirk and I came to Dresden to visit you, and that it was Mucke, the guy that mucks it up out there. He really mucked it up on the ice, and his last name was Mucke, and I always found it so funny. But
Mücke, yeah.
Muke, he could Muke up it.
Mücke.
He really mucked it up on the ice, but he said, "Du habe ein." He was talking to you, and he didn't think I could speak German, and he said he has a Schweinebauch, and he was talking about me in front of me, and he was saying I had a pig belly, right?
Yeah, that's right. Schweinebauch is pig belly.
Yeah, I remember when he called me that. I almost got body shamed out of the game. But
But you
I was injured and I did have a Schweinebauch. He was calling it like he saw it. I get it. I know. Right?
he was a good guy, and
Oh yeah.
he was pretty good in shape all the time. Maybe that's the reason why he makes fun of guys like you. And that time I had a belly too. So, but I don't care.
I think it's hilarious. I actually thought it was hilarious.
What?
I had a great time coming to Dresden, and that was like the first time I ever really hung out with another team. I'd never hung out with players from other teams. It was always just my teammates. And going there and meeting your teammates, I was like, oh, so they're just like us. They just live in a different city.
Yeah, that's true. That we had a good group of guys there.
Yeah.
But our bench was a little bit short, so we struggled that time a little bit. But on the end, everything was good. And
yeah, you guys did have a good
Mücke,
squad.
you know what a Mücke is?
What's a muke? Run a muck it up.
Yeah.
There's lots of ways to say muck.
Now, Mücke is a Basenbak.
Is what?
A Basenbak,
A buzzing buck?
a Mücke,
A mukke
or
is a
how you say it.
what's a buzzing buck? Like a deer?
Yeah, the small flies where bite you.
Oh, what?
Bug.
A bug.
How
A
you how you
buzzing bug.
a bug, Basenbak.
Oh, that's what a mukke is.
Mücke,
Muke.
Mücke.
Muke. Well, he could muke it up out there. He was buzzing like a bug out there. That guy played a
Yeah,
hard game, eh?
yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Mücke, Basenbak.
Hey, so if you're not making Schweinebraten in the summer, what if I was coming over for Abend Essen with Schmatzi, Hammer, Geipi, Abschi, a whole crew, and you were gonna make us food? What are you gonna make in the summer?
We do a lot of barbecue or cold stuff. Bread, sausages, cheese. You like that too?
I like all your food. Yeah, nothing really I didn't like. Uh,
Schmidi got a special food over here.
well, that's what I
You
wanted to
saw,
bring
I
up.
don't
He
know.
came to visit you, eh? He came to Landshut.
Yeah, like he told me all the time, he wants to show up once in a while. So they do a kind of Europe trip. They go a couple days to Dresden, then they showed up here for 3 days, and then they go to Italy, Sicilian, for I think 1.5 weeks.
Well, that sounds like living. But it's pretty neat when a guy goes out of his way to come see you that many years later, right?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And
So
Schmidt's a
they
dandy.
he is
Yeah.
they stay for 2 nights, and yeah, I showed him the city. And so on the one day he get this special Bavarian food, that a cold pig belly with chili.
Cold pig belly with jelly on it.
Yeah,
Is that good? It cold, but it's
it,
cooked. So it's cooked and then like,
it's cooked.
but then
So
you eat it
they
cold.
they they put the like normal belly, pig belly,
Yeah.
cooked, so you get it cold, and then after it's like I never did it by myself. You have to cook bones out to get the jelly.
Really? You make the jelly out of the bones, out of the, yeah,
Yeah, right.
really.
And you put in there pickles or tomatoes.
That's one thing you always did with cooking is you always like the Germans too, but yourself, like you put in the effort when you were making food, like you were doing it right, you know?
Yeah, that's
But
it.
like people in North America, a lot of times they don't do it. They don't try. They're not trying. They're just buying the boxed food at the grocery store and putting it in the freezer. They're not trying. There's no effort, you know?
Maybe they have not that much time. I don't know.
Or maybe they're just not that good at it, you know, because they don't try.
Yeah, but you saw it all the time when we did the Schweinebraten. It wasn't
It took all
wasn't
day.
that.
Eh? Just a couple
Yeah.
games of backgammon, eh? And a couple beers.
uh, each backgammon game, one beer, and during making the Schweinebraten for sure five.
Yeah. Oh, Mittwoch. Jeden Mittwoch.
Mit
That
Alexander
that's
Selva.
ice hockey. That's ice hockey.
Mit Alexander Selevanov.
Oh, he's that guy. That guy's a funny guy, eh? When he come for Schweinebraten, he didn't last on the team log, but he was a funny guy.
And he had the most of food ever saw. Like he eats so much.
He, he
Like
wasn't on a diet at all, was he?
3 plates of Schweinebraten. Then on the end he had I don't know, 5 pancakes with ice cream.
What's funny now that I'm thinking about it, as I always ask people what they would order if they went back to Germany. And I think if I went back to Germany, I would get your Schweinebraten with the fellas and have the canoodles on the side, you know? Not the
Yeah.
Kartoffel canoodles, the other ones, the like dressing ones, the stuffing ones, those ones with some
Kartoff
gravy on that. Not
Kartoffelknödel
not
und
semmel. That's
semmelknödel.
the one. Semmel, yeah, that one turns me on with some gravy and some Schweinebraten. That is sexy stuff right there. Right?
Sauerkraut.
Yeah, sauerkraut's good too. It's good to be there, right? It can help out.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. If
Mhm.
you have stomach problems, maybe you get healthy
Help.
after that.
Yeah. I've always had stomach problems. Schweinebauer.
Or
Ah,
weißwurst mit
oh,
süßen Senf.
okay now. I just had that. But I had kind of Zeus and Senf. You know, without the Zeus and Senf, it's just not a Weisswurst, you know?
No, that's bullshit. You need the süßen Senf.
You're right.
But
That's sweet
how
mustard,
tastes?
folks, if you're listening in English, right? And a
So
Weisswurst is a
you,
white sausage that you gotta. So when I got to Germany and they're teaching me about the Weisswurst, they're like, well, you gotta think of it like a dick and you're pulling the condom off, right? Some people
yeah,
take the condom off a little bit at a time to keep it hot inside, and some people just rip it off and get to work, right?
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Some people cut the sausages in two pieces, put it away, or some guys they take it and soak up the sausage.
Yeah, but everybody can vice versa how they want. It is good stuff. You know, when I was having a Cabina Fest, it was usually pretzels and vice versa.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
It is
But
good stuff.
how tasted in you like when
Well,
you bought it over there?
yeah, it was good. It was from like a fresh butcher that obviously had some German background. So yeah, it was fine. It was good. Like you can't buy it everywhere. It was only at this one store, right? So
So you don't ask him about sweet mustard?
they didn't have any. I did ask. Yeah. Yeah, they didn't have it. Interesting
Maybe
that
I have to send you a couple tins over.
that would be nice. Maybe send a couple tins of that too. What you just that, you know? So you can send that with the Zeus and Senf. We don't have
Süße.
we don't have the snooze over here either, you know.
You don't have it?
Canada doesn't know. No. Um, but yeah, like when you go over to Germany as a young buck, I get to know we know each other, and then like, man, I didn't know anybody except Brandon Dietrich, right? And then you play that first year, and I didn't get out with you guys that much until it was like the playoffs, until we started really going on a roll and winning. And I guess Lisa went back home. And like when we were winning the semifinals and we were all going out and having so much fun, it was like I was really loving hockey when we went on that playoff run. But then when I switched teams, like I wasn't switching teams alone. And it's like I didn't know anything about Bietigheim, but I had you and Geipe, right? And like even when I'm leaving for the summer, I could leave my stuff with Geipe and he would bring it to Bietigheim, and it was all just so easy, right? And it was nice
Yeah.
to switch with you guys, you know?
Yeah, for sure, it's pretty comfortable if you switch teams. You know, like I know a couple guys before because there was different Landshut guys like Seiler Rama, Kossi. But I think if you switch teams together, and we know before that we have a good team, so it makes it for sure comfortable and easier.
Oh yeah. And yeah, that's when it starts feeling like home. It's like, or and you get more excited to like be going back as like you know who you're playing with and some guys, and yeah, it makes Germany start feeling like home. And then the German hockey world really isn't that big, is it? Like once you get to know all the guys in the second league, they really don't change that much, right?
No, like most of the time not. Or I will say if you played in that league for around 10 years, so you know so much guys on every team because maybe they have almost your same age or you played against these guys for around 10 years. So
And it's
it's
crazy.
all
It's like that around the world now that I'm talking around my shed. So a couple of guys I didn't realize you had played with. Michael Hackert in Landshut under 20. It says he played in Landshut with you, and he was my Mittelstürmer in Hellbron.
No, it wasn't the same guy. You played with Michael Hackett.
Yeah.
That guy
I
was
even clicked
Michael.
on it. It had his picture and everything.
No, it's a different guy.
So they messed it up. You're telling me they led the research team astray again. What a
Yeah,
joke. So you
they
didn't play with
missed.
him, but he was a good player. He was my middle
Yeah,
stringer. Hmm.
he was a pretty good player, and I think he's my age, born 81 or 82 around that.
Yeah, he was a good dude and a beauty. So you were your first year pro. You only played 11 games, but that same year, Bernd Trunschka played for Landshut.
Yeah, that's right. My first year I played, I think, starts around Christmas time for 11 games, but I'm still playing in the junior team.
Well, Bernd was the guy that like brought me to Germany, right? He was the one that signed me, and I went and moved into his house, and what a spot he had on like the mountains overlooking the area. The guy must have had a pretty good career, but that season it says he played 6 games and scored 14 points. But he must, but
Days?
that's pretty good. But my funny story of him was he seriously said to me, um, your wife's in really good shape or your girlfriend's in really good shape. You should have her be your personal trainer.
uh,
And I said no. So then they gave me Bible Franz.
Bronzy
Franzi, Fat Club.
Fat Club. I was there. I never was in the Fat Club, but I had to when I started my career. I had to run every Monday.
Really? That's what they made me do on Mondays was like run, or I remember having to like jog on the trampoline at Bible Franz's for like a half hour. I'd be bouncing on that thing.
Yeah, that's I don't know why guys think like that all the time. Maybe you're skinny like whatever. Maybe you're not that good anymore,
Right. Everybody's different, right?
and you have a good breeze and good legs on the ice. Nobody cares.
That's right. Look good, feel good, play good. And when people that are having fun play better. When you're doing all that shit, you're not really having that much fun, you know?
That's right too.
Some
And
some
maybe,
people like all that shit, but some people want to do what they need to do to be ready to play.
yeah, right now, but maybe you and me a little bit
Mm,
different.
yeah, maybe.
Go in the sauna for a bike ride.
90 minutes. Yade and Tog. Every day I was on that bike in the sauna for 90 minutes. I
Mit Shrimpsy.
Shrimpsy. Man, remember how hard that guy got hit his first game of professional? Phew.
But you remember his skates? It was like house shoes.
The Schlittschuhs, yeah, yeah. And he played a professional hockey game, and that whoever it was, I think he was from Munich, that import or someone. Boy, did he hit him hard. That was one of the bigger hits I saw in my career for sure.
Yeah, but the league was a little bit too high for him, and
He
I
wasn't
saw
quite
it.
ready. Yeah, he wasn't quite ready. Yeah, no, I agree. But speaking of, it's the Duelt in Landshut, right? That I
Yeah,
one of my memories of Germany was when we were there. It's my first year, and I hadn't really, I tried to stick with some normal stuff. I was a little bit scared to try all the new things, but at that place they sell the like full fish on a stick. Like they're all just getting smoked or whatever, and it's a full fish, like the head, everything, the skin's all on it. And then you just buy your fish on the stick, and then you like cut off the skin and just eat it, right?
yeah, we still have that. Like in
You
almost
should. It
every
was it was delicious.
or in almost every Volksfest or Duld, or you can buy this, and I will say it's the best food over there. It's pretty good. So
It
that
was a good fish, man. I was a little nervous when it still had the head on it and everything and the fins, but like I just hadn't really ate fish like that before. But then when I got into it, it was a good time.
yeah, this
That's good timing for a duel too, though, because that did happen. I remember our season ended and we went like as a team, and I remember them like celebrating us for going to the finals and doing all that. And we had a good couple nights, didn't we?
yeah we had We had a real couple good nights.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was
So
that,
was I don't know if it was you, Hundi, Abshi. It was a long time ago and it was late, but we were at that bar downtown Landshut like the last night before it's all over and it's the fan party or something, and they're still celebrating us playing so well. And I do recall, because my German still wasn't very good, that you guys wrote my address on my arm so I could just show it to the taxi driver.
I don't know who did that, but I remember.
It was Hundi or Apshi, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, they wrote my address with like the Sharpie on my arm. 9 and Breslauer Straße,
And
right?
your apartment wasn't so far from downtown.
Too far to walk in most days.
Yeah, okay.
You'd have to make a
But
day of it.
but
It was a
Waldo,
nice place though. Landshut's like it's one of my favorite cities I've ever been to. It's like not too big, it's not too small. And the people are great, you know?
yeah, that's right. But Waldo, like when we remember us on the way home from the Lama Bar to our apartments, it's so
Yeah.
guys, that's only
It's hilly. It's
it's
hilly.
it's
It's
only
hilly.
as I will say it's 300 meters and we had problem to walk home.
That lava bar could get carried away. Every Sunday, a Heimspiel gewinnen. If we won a home game on a Sunday, it's usually the Llama Bar because that's the only place that's open, and we would shut it down, right?
Yeah, that's right. And Lisa goes mad all the time about me. Hey man, what you did with
Totally your
Waldo?
fault.
It was my fault all the time.
Right, it was.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. It's
The one guy
I wasn't used
when
to
he
German beer yet. It was a little bit stronger than what I was used to, and
yeah that's that
I didn't
that
realize what it
that's
would do to my balance, right?
yeah, that's right. The one time when the guy stopped with his car and he saw that we get a hijack on you.
Yeah, I
That
actually
was
think
it.
you told that story in episode 7 because that's the only time I think I'd ever heard that story that I remember it because I think I tried to pretend that never happened. But yeah, people thought you guys were like um like stealing me, hijacking me,
Yeah,
right?
right. It
Because you
was
guys were
like
helping me get home because my balance was off.
I I I've, I thought the guy
I
was
think you
pretty.
drugged me.
Yeah, for sure.
Hmm. Yeah. There's a
KO
couple nights in
pills.
Germany got away from me, you know? It's not my fault. Winning's fun, right?
But Waldo, you're not the only guy. Like different guys, they saw they can drink around the 5 big beers in the Oktoberfest first time showed
Oh,
up, and it's way stronger than the other beer. And
oh, for sure. There's a lot of Canadians and Americans that go over there not knowing what they're getting into, and then all of a sudden it hits you like a truck. It was still doing that to me in year 6. Oh, my last year with Hellbroad, that Oktoberfest day when we bust all the way there. It's too long of a day for me. It didn't go well. Didn't go well.
but
I made it
you
home safe and
follow,
sound though.
yeah,
On
you
my
did.
own, Hammer. I didn't even have you around to help me. Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
I ended up wandering out of Oktoberfest by myself when we lost the reservations at the table or whatever. And then I just thought I'd walk off being in one. And then I didn't realize how long and far I'd walked. And then I didn't know where I was or how to get back to Oktoberfest or where the guys were with. So I got on a train and headed back for Helbron.
Yeah, that's it's a pretty good or pretty big thing if you can make that after you
When I
you're
couldn't make it back
visiting.
from Lama Bar, I made it back from Munich to Helbron. See, everybody grows up.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
Okay. Well, you've been chirping me. Now I'm going to chirp you. Poster pics. There's one with you and your daughter and your gal Sabrina. And is that her parents or your parents?
that's my parents. We had
Do you
a
know how
vacation.
much your nipples are sticking out? Is it cold in that room? Have
Maybe
you
that
seen?
was windy over there.
Look at your nipples in that picture, man. They almost poked me in the eye over here.
No, that's my parents. We had that year a vacation on a Turkish place for 9 days, and we made that picture because my
Well, you
parents, they
should.
live close to Straubing right now, so they show up only 2 3 weeks, every 2 3 weeks. So then we make pictures all the time.
Yeah, no, and it's good to have a family trip like that, right? Where you don't
Yeah.
really get that much time. But yeah, nipples. When take a look at that photo and check out your nipples. Wild, wild. Next poster pick. You went to a Kiss concert. Looks like you guys are having a time there.
Yeah, like before all the Corona stuff, we go for sure 2 3 times in the summertime to Munich to watch some concerts because they have all the big
The big bands.
guys over there.
Yeah.
And I never had one before, a Kiss concert. And a couple guys uh, from my job went with me. They're big Kiss fans, and that was pretty cool. Yeah.
Wow, that would be cool. That'd be fun. So then you sent a team of picture, a man shaft photo, and it's the Cannibals when I zoomed in on it, but they're in white and blue. We were like black and yellow when I played there.
I think that's or I know it. It was my last junior year, so we get the same jerseys like the first league first team, and I sent it over because I look a little bit younger, and
Yeah,
that
you
we
do.
have different pictures, and
Yeah, you got to get that in there. I didn't realize like the Cannibals weren't always black and yellow then, eh? Because we were black and yellow, and then in the playoffs they gave us purple jerseys.
I remember that. No, they start first with the blue and the white ones, and that was a pretty good season when we had in the juniors, but we lost in the final against Weißwasser.
Ah, beautiful whitewater.
Uh, so
Yeah.
we had on that time we had 2 games back and forth like in soccer, and
Yeah, home and
first
home, and it's the total
yeah,
score.
and first we lost 1-0, and the second one at home we played 1-1.
Oof.
So they won it. It was a long time ago. It was pretty hard, or I was thinking so much about that game because it's my last junior game, and you're not gonna make the title. It was like for me, it was pretty
I
hard or tough.
I totally know what you mean. My last game of junior before I went to school in NCAA, I did win it the year before, but the last year when it's like kind of my team and I'm the guy, and we lost in game 7, and it was like a nail biter. We lost. It was 1-0 or 2-1, and they scored an empty netter, and it still like pisses me off. You know?
Yeah, me too. Me too. Because
Yeah,
like it's the last, it's the last game when you can play juniors
yeah.
and
And
before
you're
you
doing
go
it in
up.
your hometown, and I was doing it in
Uh,
my hometown too. Yeah,
on
crazy.
on that time it was like a pretty big thing, like during normal junior games you have hundreds or 150 spectators. When I think of that game was almost 2,000 people are watching that game.
That's pretty cool when it's like your first time in front of big crowds, right? That's
Yeah,
fun when you're a kid. Um, Another poster pick. You're skiing with Geipi and Schmatzi,
yeah.
Deutsche Meisters, you could call them.
Deutsche
Um, so you're still hanging out with the same guys from 2008-9. That's cool. But where were you guys skiing?
like we all the time when we know there's snowing or we have a lot of or
And it's
we
gonna be
don't
a
have
nice
that much
day.
snow in Germany, but we have to drive only 2 to 3 hours to Austria, and there are good hills and they have enough snow most of the time. So we're searching for good weather where we can go to Austria for a ski trip. We go there Friday, come back on Sunday. So
That
we
sounds like
hanging out
living.
on Friday, going for skiing Saturday and Sunday, and then go back.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. Gosh, it'd be fun to come over there and do something like that with you guys someday, you know?
Yeah,
God, that'd
you
be
should.
fun. Yeah, it would be fun. to get back over there someday. Anyways, next poster pick, it's you, Geipe, Abshi, Whitman, and I couldn't figure out who the other guy was, but he looked familiar.
That's Welzi.
Was it Welty? I was gonna say, is that Welty?
Yeah,
Really?
it's Welzi.
I wasn't sure. That's Welty. He looks skinnier now.
Yeah, he's still the same, I would
Yeah.
say.
So you're still hanging out with the same Landshut guys from 2007, 8 too.
That was we got invited from the Landshut team because they
cool.
have a celebration for I think 70 years Landshut ice hockey.
That's cool. And they thought of you guys too, and they should. You guys are legends. That's awesome. Shed guys know shed guys. When I saw that table, it just made my heart full, you know? It does.
We had no Czech guys there.
Did you get in one that night then?
Sorry?
Did you drink a lot that night together? Zusammen? Viel
I
Bier?
think,
Ein mehr, bitte?
I think schon for sure mehr Bier.
Yeah, you know. Okay. Let's see. Do I have any more poster picks? I don't think so. Oh, you put on the glider, the flying the plane there when Danny Held did that for us.
I had it last time, yeah.
Yeah, and what's cool is like the cool things that you do when you go over to play in Germany is like my parents were there. That just happened to be in Germany that day, and as a team, we're going to fly planes, the gliders, and like my parents got to do that. We did that together, you know. That's cool.
Yeah, that's good. Like it's close to Landshut. It's around, I will say, 6-7 clicks outside. We have a small airport for that gliders, and you can buy this with a guy. I think it's 1 hour and it's around 100 euros.
Yeah, that's still quite a bit to go do that, but like it was cool when we got to do it for free.
Yeah, that's true. But the guys, they do it and they said it's around they don't make that much money, but they need so much hours to fly to keep the
license or whatever.
The license. And I think if you don't have the glider by your own, they have to do this, I think 20 or 25 hours a year to keep the yeah. So they make it, they go to the guy who gets the glider and said, I can do this for you. And then they don't make money with that, only the guy who gets the glider.
We got really sidetracked here because I still have a lot of questions. Don't you have to leave soon?
We don't have that much time, Waldo.
You're a mess. They did update the Landshut barn though, eh? It's way nicer now, eh?
Yeah, that's pretty nice right now. I loved it before too because it was like a real old hockey rink.
Yeah.
But now it's a arena and they have, I think, 9 or 10 boxes over there for the business guys and everything is brand new.
It's fancy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But it's different right now.
Yeah, well, and hopefully they got money too, right? And can be a good team because I always said Landshut's like the best place you could play if they had money and like paid everybody on time and stuff.
I think right now they're pretty good, but you never know. It can goes quick. Like, but all the clubs they get players right now pretty good money, and I think it's pretty good because like everything goes up so high. Look at all the soccer players. That's unreal.
Yeah.
And I think it's pretty good right now.
Yeah, hockey players should get paid more, right? But anyways, other stuff I got written down. We'll just stick with the random stuff than going through your career again. But I didn't realize when I started putting all the pieces together and the research team gets hot. Andre Kaufman played for Landshut with Christian Brittig, who then brings him to Bietigheim. And that year, Andre Kaufman scored 44 goals in 59 games played.
Yeah, that's right. We played in the Oberliga, Dritte Liga. We won it. I think we lost only 4 or 5 games the whole year. Our
And that
team
it makes
was,
sense how Brittig brings him to Bietigheim too, right? It's because he knows what he can do when he does that year, right?
I don't know, but like players and coaches, same person could be way different.
Yeah. I'm the same person. A little bit bossier as a coach though, you know?
Yeah. So I
Now I
never,
don't care about telling people what they should be doing. Where when I was your teammate, sometimes I wouldn't tell people when they messed up because I was hoping they knew. But now that I'm a coach, I can be like, hey, you can't do that. You know?
yeah, that's right. Like I think so too. Maybe you have to be the boss, but like all in all, don't change your mind so much about it, like the
Yeah.
same
You can
sport.
I think you can still be a friend and like a good person to people and be the coach, you know?
And it's important to have every guy on the same team be comfortable or feel
Yeah.
good. That
Yeah,
makes
the
a
more
difference.
confidence they have, the better they're gonna play, and
Yeah,
the more they like playing with each other, and for you, the harder they're gonna play. That's my mindset, you know.
yeah, it's way different. My opinion was all the time when I feel good or have a good confidence, I see the whole ice. If not, you see the next 3 4 meters.
Yeah, I do know. Yeah, and then it's like once you score one goal, then all of a sudden it seems way easier to score the next one.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Well, it's crazy how busy you are nowadays, and it's so hard to find time to talk to each other, eh?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Been
like
trying to do
normally,
this for months, man.
yeah. Now I have days off at work, but like was a little kid, and then I once in a week I play soccer, once in a week I play hockey. The other days my girl is going for gym or something else. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
not,
busy, busy.
not
No, we're the same. I just try to find time to do this whenever I can, whenever there's a window or a pocket to talk. I do. And I got a couple more questions though. In Hanover, when you're in the DL, you played with Wally Schreiber. He had to have been Alta Aya. He had to have been old balls by then, no? Because I met
uh,
him. I was playing with his nephew, Mike Schreiber, in Bietigheim. And I remember having a night with Wally in the basin, actually. We had a time.
and that time he was, I think, 43 years old.
Alta Aya. I
Uh,
was right.
yeah, and I was around 23 or about that. Like the other guys told him all the time, he's my daddy. Um, he was a big guy in Landshut too.
Yeah, he's a big name over there, isn't he?
He's a, like I will say that years from the 90s to end of the 90s. Um, Bullard was the biggest guy, and then Wally Schreiber.
Yeah. Well, maybe I should try and get those fellows in the shed, eh? Talk to anybody. They're probably good dudes. I know Wally is. I had a great time with him in the basin.
Yeah, he was a
um,
good.
the other guy, the goalie, was Trevor Kidd. I remember him from like playing for the Flames. I didn't.
Yeah, he was a big name that time too.
Yeah,
Like he was a like big guy. He was not in shape anymore, but he was still a really good goalie. And on that team, I was almost the youngest and maybe the cheapest
yeah,
guy because we have like a lot of big guys over
big
there, and I
names.
was
Yeah,
I was I was in the healthy stretch most of the time.
yeah. That makes hockey fun, right? And then, yeah, well, playing more is always more fun, and that's when you go back to Landshut not long after that, eh? And then we do
Yeah.
have fun.
Then we
And
had
I
it.
always
Yeah.
find it interesting that we were such good friends because we were both the Rex Außenstürmers, you know? Some guys can get competitive with each other. We were like best friends and we were both the right wingers on the teams we were on, you know?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's
Some
right.
people can be dinglings when you're the same position because they get so competitive and like they're like competing with you and you're like, just relax, man. We're all on the same team.
Yeah,
Right?
right. Maybe it's the reason why we had most of the time success.
I would agree. Yeah. When the Germans and imports are getting along and are a squad, it's how you win. And actually, I thought the biggest mistake that Bietigheim ever made was letting you leave and Geipe, because you guys were the ones that were bringing us together. The Schweinebraten was a big part of bringing the team together, but it wasn't just that, it was everything. Like, you guys always had the imports and the Germans together, and when you guys left that next season, it was not the same. And that's how we played, and we sucked.
Yeah, Geipe, he wants to go back to Landshut because
Yeah.
Felix was there and Moritz too. But for me, I want to stay there. But
Yeah. And then you go to
Danny,
Dresden, and then I got to go visit you in Dresden when you should have been my neighbor again.
yeah, that's true. But Danny Held, he wants to go a different way and told me that I'm not coming back anymore.
And that's what I'm
That,
saying, is that year we weren't good enough and we were too young and we had no leadership. We had no older Germans that were showing people what to do and how to treat imports and imports treat Germans. And it was just tough year. And it was a mistake to let you go, for sure. A big one.
that how it is, Wally.
I know that is how it is. We're not for everyone.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, it's really dark over there. I can't see your face anymore. I
Yeah,
guess you got to go play hockey, eh?
I'm. It's not dark. I have the windows shutting down because I can't go outside because my daughter is going now to bed, and before he was running around and yelling, and that's the reason why it's maybe a little bit dark over here.
Well, so do you have to leave now then, or what?
I have to leave pretty early right now, Waldo.
Okay. Well, I didn't realize you played with Toto too. Torsten Fent in Augsburg. That guy who was dandy and Hellbrown. Really liked that guy.
He's a very very nice guy,
Yeah.
and he helped me out right away in Augsburg, and he's doing everything right, I will say, for team, and no,
Mm,
he's a pretty good guy.
I agree. You'd call that like a shed guy, is what I would call it. But your
Yeah,
last 2 years in Landshut, this is like one of my last questions. I'm just curious. You had Mikkel, Geipe, Abschi, Cody Thornton, and Patrick Jarrett, who is a great dude and a great player from what I saw. And you guys didn't win, eh?
so we had like a really good team, but there was from the beginning on the problem with the money. For
Mhm.
me, it wasn't a big thing. Why on that time I still was doing my job 40 hours a week, and I played
Oh, and then you
like
played the games as well.
yeah. I played only like I will say I get almost no money. I played only almost for fun and
Yeah.
stay together with the guys. And for me, it wasn't a big thing, but I think for the other guys, it wasn't so good, and they 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 are thinking all the time about that
They're
money.
distracted. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
distracted, and happy hockey players play better, and people getting paid play better. Yeah,
yeah,
that
that's right.
that was what was interesting about that year. We did go to the finals and come a goal away, and how we all came together, and we were such a tight group. Was like, you guys have great hockey guys in Landshut. Like, you guys brought back my love of hockey, because hockey was fun again. Showing up at the rink was fun again. And I didn't even know what you guys were saying in German at that point, but I could just see all the smiles and laughter on people's faces. And I'm like, man, there's some funny guys in this room.
Yeah,
You get
but
Daffy, Ozzy, Abshi, right? You, Geipe, like, there's some good jokes going on.
Pelzi, Hundi, yeah, we had,
Yeah, what a squad, eh?
like I will say that that was the biggest thing for Landshut guys all the time, that they have a good group of guys from Landshut. Like if we played in Bietigheim, they still have 7 8 guys from Landshut, and it makes the team all the time with 5 or 6 imports, and like they know what's going on, and it was the big thing. Why? Because the LA Cannibals, they had all the time, or most of the time, a good group of guys and a good teams.
Yeah, and that's how you win.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So
And
Waldo,
yeah, you
sorry
go
it was
play
too short,
hockey,
but
eh? No, I know. We'll do it
uh,
again someday. But say hi to the fellows when you go there, eh?
yeah, I will do this. Thanks to having me,
Yeah.
and
Thanks for
We
coming
have to
on,
do
sir.
it.
Great seeing you again. Say hi to your
Yeah.
family and the
I will
guys.
do this
And the guys.
for sure, Waldo.
And this has been another episode of Zwei Ales und Hockey Tales mit Hammer und Waldi.